This is ChristusRex's. We're going to talk about my cast on crit tornado shot build. First, we're going to go over some of the gear. So the gear requirements, honestly, for cast on crit, I don't think are all that bad. Obviously, you're going to need a 6 link. This build is based around evasion, so you are going to need
drive that.
Oops. You are going to need a evasion chest, preferably. Mine I got for I think 7 exalts. It's pretty decent, I would say. Next, you're going to need a Thief's Torment Prismatic Ring. The reason why you need this is because you have to get it for the life gain and the mana gain. Even if you're using something like Assassin's Mark, you're still going to need the life and mana gain from it, especially the mana gain. The next requirement that you're going to have is the Malagaro's Virtuosity Deerskin Gloves. Why you need this is because of the crit chance on it, and also the attack speed helps. Dex, not really important because we're starting as a shadow, so neither here nor there, but the biggest thing is the critical strike chance on it is definitely required. Next, you're going to need a Rat's Nest. Mine is really bad. It's one off of the most terrible you can get on the global critical strike, so it's pretty bad. But again, you still need it for the critical strike chance increase. The pieces of gear that are optional or that you can change out are going to be your bow, your belt, boots, amulet, and your quiver. This build is very, let's say, resistance heavy or light. So what you're going to need to do, you're going to need to get a quiver, one that has critical strike on it. So you're going to be going for the spike point. Preferably if you can get one with not only the global crit chance, but also a global crit chance rolled on it as well. Not just the implicit, but an additional one. That is awesome. And then, of course, you're going to need some resistances and you're going to need some life. It all depends on what your other pieces of gear are. Same thing you're going to need in the boots. You're going to need life resistances. Belt, life resistances. Obviously, the chest, life and resistances. What you're going to need to go for on the bow is a high percentage critical strike chance on the bow, and then any amount of increased attack speed that you can get. Obviously, this build can be done with a Wind Ripper, but if you're, sitting on 20, 30 exalts to buy the Wind Ripper, go for it. It's obviously the best in slot for it. But if you do not have that, I bought this bow for 4 chaos. I re-rolled the implicit on it, got it up to 9.1% crit, and it more than is functional for the build. Right now with just the bow on, obviously no power charges or anything like that, we're sitting at 66.3% crit. Obviously we'll go over a little bit of that with the passive skill tree, but that's where we're sitting at. Let's see, you got 92% chance to hit. Multi is, it's just whatever. Our resistances right now, we'll go ahead and show you those real quick. Definitely have to be running Purity of Elements, so we'll actually go over the links as well right now. So what I got in the gloves is I got Haste, Purity of Elements, Reduced Mana, and I got Herald of Ice. In the helm, I got Val Haste, Increased Duration. The third slot, you can just do whatever with it. Level it, put it in a gem there to level whatever. Same with the bow. You could go with like Barrage, Cast on Crit, and then you could put in, Ball Lightning, Fireball, Arctic Breath with 5 link, but I'm finding that Barrage isn't all that great, to be completely honest. I find that Tornado Shot, it gets me more crits, it gets me more casts than Barrage does. So personally, I don't use any single target damage, I just use the Tornado Shot. I think it's, if you want to use the Barrage, it's completely up to you. It's all your playstyle. We'll go over the chest now. It's Tornado Shot, Power Charge on crit. Why? Because I'm lazy. I don't like self-casting out on top of that. If you go into a map that is immune to curses, your Assassin's Mark will guess what, you're not going to be having any of your power charges. But let's just be honest, I'm lazy. Fireball, we got Cast on Crit, we got GMP, and we got Arctic Breath. And obviously all these are still, most of these are still level 18, if not, some of them are level 19. So we still got room there with the DPS and everything. Here we just got cast from damage taken, Immortal Call, increased duration. I'm thinking about possibly putting in endurance, Enduring Cry right here. I really haven't made my decision on it yet. So that's something that, will probably come out a little bit later. So right now what we're looking at with resistances, we are barely capped. That is why you need purity of elements. You've got to have it. Just because this build is just so tight on getting your resistances in. So now that we've gone over those, we'll go over the passive tree next. We start off as the shadow. What we get is we get these elemental damage nodes here, which makes it a little bit easier to level. You can do, say, lightning tendrils, you can do freezing pulse, you can do something along that line, or you can do something like eye shot. That's what I leveled with. Eye shot was very good for me. You go down here, you get trickery, go to blood siphon, coordination, you get a sniper, quickness, assassination, and then you want to make sure you get all of these when you get a little bit higher level. Then I went down, got me some life. I've now spec'd out of aspect of the eagle. You go down here all the way to finesse, get over here to get piercing shots, you go all the way into phase acrobatics, get heart seeker, you get acuity, because we need some of the attack speed because we didn't get this 8% node here, but also on top of that because we need some more accuracy. You go to herbalism, you go down to Ondar's guile, obviously a little bit more survivability against projectiles. Go up to lethality. Our next skill point we'll be using, we'll be getting this node right here. Get thick skin. We need this because of the tightness on the strength and the intelligence for this build. And then we go over to King of the Hill, Fury Bolts. You get Art of the Gladiator, Bravery, Master of the Arena. Then you go up, you get Sentinel. You go up to Constitution, you get half of this right here. And that's sitting us at about 3.8k health, which is, with the build, it's more than fine. And then what you do next is you go to Strength. This is what our... So right now we are 86. This will be 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91. We'll be getting into Berserking. And that's basically, our skill tree up to 91. We might get, at 92, get this guy. And then we might look for some other nodes, but that's basically the skill tree. And then we'll show you some of the build with on a map. This is just Endurance Charges and Nemesis mod on a 69 map. So we'll go and pop in here real quick and we'll show you the build in action. See right there, low on mana. That's why you need Thieves Torment, because you can't do, like, say, you can't really do mana regen or health regen on physical because you're just not doing enough damage, to be completely honest. The damage is just not there. I also have in this a Val Summon Skeletons, and the reason why I have that is just, in case I get myself in a situation where a boss is a little bit harder, I can just toss those out and they'll be single targeting those, and then I'll just be, beating on the boss while he or she is paying attention to my Val Summon Skeletons. But this is the build in action. I've done up to 77 maps with this. Obviously, it's a little bit slower, but then again, we still don't have level 20 gems in our 6th link. We can still get a better bow. The bow can be switched out. That's why I suggest that you guys get the 6th link in your chest. Unless, obviously, you have a Wind Ripper or something, then, whatever. You don't have really any problems then. So it's no big deal. But what you're looking for on your bow is you're going to want some increased critical strike chance on it. Like I said, you want to get at least probably 8.5% or higher. And then after that, obviously if you can get higher. That's the most important thing. And then you're going to want to fit in some increased attack speed on it. Whether you have to roll that yourself or you're able to... I just don't want to waste time on those. Really doesn't help you see the effectiveness of the build if I'm sitting there shooting Necrovigils. But basically, depending on obviously what you want to pick up for your build, or not for your build, for items, you can easily go through maps quickly. There's a lot of for my flasks, I have an armor flask with some extra evasion on it, and then on my evasion flask, obviously I have evasion. What I suggest is that you get each one of them, your armor and your evasion flasks, your granite and your jades. you get it so that each time you cast or you get a crit, it gives you another charge because it regularly will recharge your flasks. Elemental Reflect, that was the guy right there. It depends on what level map you're doing. Obviously, a higher level map, you're going to be getting more damage back, but it's not too bad. You just obviously need to pay a little bit of attention, but this is basically the build. And then we're going to try to find Haku, because obviously you guys don't need to see me play an entire map. I think you guys are getting the point. So let's just try and find Haku. So that we can show you a boss. Look at the orb. I really don't know where the heck Haku is. He's not over here, is he? This build can also deal with Rose and Devours pretty well. And the reason why that is because of the knockback from King of the Hill. King of the Hill, when you get higher crit, like it's pretty like disgusting. Disgusting as in awesome, not disgusting as in actually disgusting. Like most bosses, so long as you're able to attack fast enough, you're not gonna have like problems with bosses. I also put in Blink Arrow, and this will be a good time to show you guys. I put in Blink Arrow for doing boxes. Very safe. Sometimes you need to make sure that you start to get used to Blink Arrow, because sometimes it'll like fire and not actually teleport you, which really sucks and it's really stupid. But once you learn that, you'll be able to see if you're going to teleport or not. And then, oh, there's Haku. Or not Haku. Hillock. The only thing that you want to do when you're fighting bosses, when you're knocking them back, is you want to make sure that you're doing your out of sync macro. Especially on Bloodlines, because sometimes they'll desync even though you're still hitting them. Like there, didn't even have to engage them, didn't have to worry about them. Just able to kill them. So that is it, you guys. Thank you very much. Hopefully you guys enjoy the build. Again, we're level 86 right now. So we'll add some more videos in of me doing like 77s or whatever. So thank you guys very much. Hope you guys enjoy the build. I personally, at first I really hated it because it wasn't strong enough in the sense that like I would be evading stuff, but I would get like monsters like jumping down my throat. And when I was using Doomfletch, and the reason why was because I wasn't critting enough to knock back the monsters enough, and also on top of that, my DPS wasn't being, you know, dealed out because I'm not critting as often. So that's when I sought to find a different bow. Like I said, my bow cost me 4 chaos, so it's not like you can easily craft your own as well. You're gonna just want, you know, a decimation bow or whatever with a high implicit, harbinger bow, or death bow, and then you're going to want to roll with alt and transmutes and everything, or transmute it, alt it, and augment it until you get a nice crit roll on it, and then hopefully attack speed as well. And then you could regal it, and then you know, if you roll some elemental damage on it or something. Obviously, the higher attack speed and the higher crit that you have, the better. But you know, it's all what you want or how much you're willing to spend on it. But that's it. Thank you guys very much.